The issue isn't so much endurance or velocity. Most frequently it's heart. It's the fire that burns within that cannot be put out. And that fire, that determination, most times isn't derived from the game, it is derived from faith. You see, life has always reflected in athletics. There's the discipline, the setbacks, the victories, the defeats, the late nights, the silence, the cheers, the pain, and then the change. In those formative moments, scripture can be more than an old book, it can be breath. It can be that strength when the flesh gives out, peace in the midst of confusion in the mind. It can be that voice that will say to you, you are stronger than this moment. Let's start with a verse that at face value is easy, but if you really think about it, has the potential to flip everything around. Philippians 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now hold on a minute. Don't blow past that one. Notice what it says, not I can do some things or I can do simple things. No, all things. In Him. That's not going to help you in the race or get on the team or set the record. It means you can survive. You can survive. You can get up again and again when the circumstances don't add up. This verse is not a leap of blind optimism. It's about hard-nut resiliency. It reminds you that your resiliency isn't kept in yourself or your head, it is fueled from above. That's where Stoic philosophy intersects, ironically. Stoics would have told you that we can't control the result, only effort, discipline, attitude. That's what this verse also provides. Do the best you can and let something greater than yourself get the rest figured out. Let's examine another one. Isaiah 40 verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. This is when exhaustion isn't physical, it's deep down. When you're not just weary but weary of being weary. When you find yourself wondering why you began in the first place. That verse offers us no promise of rapid improvement. It offers us refreshment. Eagle power isn't found by beating your wings harder, it's flying high above the storm, catching the secret winds. The balance here is all about it. Trust but train. Hope but work. It's work but not without smiles. Curiosity lives here too. What if you ceased being afraid of falling and began learning to fly? What if failure was not so much about building the kind of strength that wouldn't get weaker over time? To the next thing. 1 Corinthians 9 verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way that you will get it. This one's ringing, is it? This is not a call to come and join, but a call to greatness. Not middleness. Not mediocrity. Excellence. Not for the world. Not for your parents. But because you owe it to yourself to give it all on the track, the field, the court. But then there is, of course, always the twist. That award you see. Not always a medal. Occasionally the highest reward is what you've become along the way. The you that stands tall because you left it all out on the track. Stoicism would have a term for this. Virtue, giving everything no matter. The Bible just has faithful perseverance. Either term is the same thing. Run hard. Live full. Sports as life is sacred tension. Grunting and resting in equilibrium. Winning and losing. Cheering and alone. And so what keeps you grounded when the cheers fade? That's where this next verse comes in. Proverbs 3 verse 5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You might not receive the injury, the cut, the failure, the injustice. But faith is not seeing everything, it's trusting that there is significance there even when you cannot see it yet. You may train months for a race that doesn't proceed the way you would desire. You may ride the bench when you are in optimal form. But maybe, just maybe, those things are shaping you more deeply than talent. Maybe they are making you in character, integrity, grace. Which is why this line matters. Because when the path is lost, when the blueprint is broken, it reminds us, keep moving anyway. The path that you have not yet been able to perceive may be even more beautiful than the one you charted. And that is where curiosity comes in. What if we weren't seeing pain as punishment, but as preparation? You're not just an athlete. You're a storyteller. Every drop of sweat, every scar, every repetition is part of your story. So don't hide from the hard parts. Embrace them. They are the chapters that people will remember. They are the ones that will inspire someone else to lace up their shoes and begin. We've all been there. on the edge, struggling and straining, questioning whether it's all worth it. And yet something within you still smolders. That flame of hope, that inner resilience, that why that keeps pulling you back again and again. Scripture does not provide shortcuts. Scripture provides wisdom. It teaches you how to carry the burden with dignity, how to lose gracefully, how to win without pride. The timelessness of those words, it's ageless. It's not retro. It's yours, here and now. As we keep reading the second half of part 2, ask yourself, what is your actual reason? Is it record a number all the way? Or do you need the plain effort of being what you were intended to be? If this is resonating with you, if it's waking something up inside of you, I invite you to let me walk with you. Because what's ahead could have the potential to revolutionize how you think about both the game and your own strength. Having now exposed ourselves to the exhaustion and fire that each of us who competes is subjected to, let's go a little deeper. Let's discuss what motivates you to rise again from being knocked off not once but repeatedly. That kind of motivation isn't necessarily goal-oriented. It's more of a faith issue, a burning sense of call that you are called to something more than in this moment. And the scripture read not with the eyes but with the heart can fuel that spark into fire. Along the journey to the next verse, Hebrews 12 verse 1, let us run with patience the race that is set before us. This verse never tells you run quick, never tells you run well, tells you run with endurance. That is bigger than that. That is more. Endurance is what you find in the quiet, in the habit, in the days when no one is clapping, when your knees ache and your heart is tired thin. It's about showing up when the fire has gone out and the drill is grind. There's a stoicism in that too. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Perseverance isn't merely of the legs, it's of the mind. And beyond that, it's of the soul. When Hebrews talks of perseverance, it's not athletically, it's spiritual. It's a type of strength that doesn't come from protein or rest or training, it comes from knowing why you run. So sit down and think this through. Why are you driven to run for? An office? A comeback? Or maybe just proving to yourself that you can be the person you thought you weren't. And then imagine yourself at the midpoint of the race, no idea how long. That can paralyze you. That's where this next verse is a shot of adrenaline. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. You weren't created to live in fear. Not fear of not being good enough, not fear of failing, not fear of what others observe. You were created to live in power, and not the kind of power that growls and brags. The quiet power, the power that breathes deeply when fear arrives. The power that has ground when the crowd chants or boos. The power that remains standing when others remember. This is a line that reminds us to. Power without love is nothing. Control without heart is hollow. The best athletes, the best. Legend human beings aren't. The winners, those are. The givers. Those who lift people up. Who lift something higher than statistics. So think of self-discipline, not restraint, but freedom. It's what prevents you from losing yourself when the game gets wild. It's what helps you walk away from drama, from ego, from hustles. In a wild world, that peace is valuable and formidable. And with that, our third verse, Colossians 3 verse 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. This verse flips everything on its head. It makes the cheering unnecessary. The excitement is no longer external affirmation, but internal passion. If you practice, stretch, lift, run, compete, not just for the coach, the scout, the scoreboard, but for some higher cause than self, everything shifts. The anxiety is removed. The joy is richer. The why is deeper. This is where philosophy and faith and sports come together in perfect harmony. Because perfection isn't the point. Presence is. Being present. Being present in every rep, every lap, every pass, not for show, but to honor the gift that has been bestowed upon you. Your body, your opportunity, your journey. When you play and live this way, yourself is not shredded by loss. You find yourself thinking the game is sacred, the sweat sacred, the hustle blessed. That's not inspirational, that's transfigurational. And this is the truth. You're not alone. Every champion, every human being who's ever tried to do something worthwhile has fought through the storm. The voice of doubt, the voice of others' criticism, but inside you is something even more powerful if you will listen. All 7 verses we've walked through aren't inspirational platitudes. They are anchors. If you internalize them, say them out loud, live them, those become muscle, memory, momentum. They give us the balance we all need to between drive and peace, ambition and humility, focus and play. And here's the hook: don't be afraid to savor it. We work so hard, so much, that we forget how much fun the process is. The grin after practice, the walk home alone with weary legs and a full heart. That is what it is all about. Deep work and lightness, discipline and wonder. That is where the real magic is. So if something has been stirred up in you, something tangible, maybe a little emotional, then I want to urge you to cling to it. Don't let it be swept away. Read them aloud when you're burned out. Come back to these words. Reproduce them. Stick them to your wall. Recite them aloud before competition. Stick them in your pocket when you want to quit. And not only that, share. Which verse speaks to you? What hard moment have you endured and survived that resulted in the person you are today? What did your fight learn you that a triumph would have avoided? Share that in the comments. Let's build a platform upon which athletes and anyone striving for greatness can challenge each other. Because this is the truth. We may run different races, but we all beat the same drum. And every step forward, no matter how small, is holy. So lace up your shoes. Get back in. Not just to chase victory, but to live your why. You were not created to do more than finish lines. You were created to be a spark. Text your favorite verse. Share your story. What's the moment you quit but didn't? Share it with us in the comments. Let's support one another. That's what this is about.